top stories. GCA appoints Dr. Samia as a member of the advisory board. Dr. Mwinyi to attend G77 and China Summit. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparinyaga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has been appointed as a member of the advisory board of the Global Center on Adaptation, GCA. The appointment signifies charismatic leadership of President Samia in climate change, agenda in Africa and around the world, positioning Tanzania as a leader in the implementation of various projects in Africa. Other members of the board are President Macky Sall of Senegal, Chairman of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki Mohamed, President of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, and Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Kristalina Georgieva. GCA is an institution that deals with issues of climate change resilience, where until now it has been able to access to more than $50 billion. Tanzania is among the first countries that will benefit from the funds in the next 3 years. The President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has left the country for Cuba, where he will be representing the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, in the G77 and China Heads of State meeting that will be held from 15th to the 16th this month at the Abeid Aman Karume International Airport here. President Mwinyi, accompanied by his wife Mama Mariam Mwinyi, and his delegation were seen off by various senior government officials led by the second Vice President, Hamed Suleiman Abdullah, and the heads of the defense and security forces. G77 serves as a platform for southern countries to voice and promote their shared economic interests while enhancing their collaborative negotiating capabilities. And on to the next news, the Manara Regional Commissioner, Queen Sendiga, urges the Tanzanian business community and all citizens in general to capitalize on the economic opportunities that will be represented before and during the celebrations to mark the climax of the Uhuru Torch Race on 14th October 2023. She made the call in Dar es Salaam, assuring that the preparations are going on well, where they expect to receive the local and international government leaders. Here's a report by Ahmed Salim, read by Nasa Kingu.
On April 2nd, 2023, the Uhuru Torch Race was launched in the Mtwara region. So far, it has passed 27 regions. And now, as it finishes the remaining 4 regions, the preparations for its climax are underway. For the first time since its inception in 2002, the Manara region will host the celebrations to mark the climax of the Uhuru Torch Race. And here the regional commissioner says the preparations are so far going on well.
In line with heading towards the peak of the Uhuru Torch Race, there are other big events that will start earlier in October, towards the 14th of October. As we have already told women, businessmen and others, especially those dealing with transport, to ensure that their transportation is safe.
Wafanyabiashara wa usafirishaji wahakikishe kwamba vyombo vyao vya usafiri viko vizuri na viko salama.
Furthermore, the region will host a youth conference that will involve young people from all over the country.
Katika kuzungumza mambo yao ya ujana na kuangalia nafasi yao kama vijana katika.
We will be discussing various issues concerning youths and seeing their position and responsibilities in the development of the economy in the country. They will also get a chance to showcase their activities like entrepreneurship and their products.
Wanafanya nini? Wanafanya mambo ya ujasiriamali, wanatoa huduma, wanazalisha. Sababu na hiyo watapata pia fursa ya kuonyesha bidhaa zao.
On the other hand, Sendiga calls on citizens to be vigilant about the upcoming rain season, urging them to take relevant precautions early. Manara region is one of the regions listed by Meteorological Authority TMA in the country as likely to experience heavy rains. That will be accompanied by El Nino from October this year until the beginning of next year.
Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Doto Biteko has ordered an establishment of an integrated policy and monitoring evaluation system for institutions to assess its performance instead of now where each institution has its own system. Dr. Biteko made the directive in Arusha while opening the second National Conference on Monitoring and Evaluation, insisting that every top boss of institutions should be well evaluated in order to increase efficiency. Here's a report by Gervas Matabela, read by Nasa Kingo.
The conference brings together various stakeholders, including government and private sector officials, aiming to build the capacity and improve the monitoring and evaluation of various institutions in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Doto Biteko is an official guest of honor, and here he orders an establishment of an integrated monitoring and evaluation system.
I kindly ask you to round off an electronic system that involves operational monitoring and evaluation for public servants, so that to overcome the challenges of electronic systems in our government institutions.
Dr. Biteko also says the executives of the institutions should have a culture of evaluating themselves and be ready to be evaluated.
These institutions are for the benefit of the people. We will take a look to evaluate and monitoring work performance.
On the other hand, the Permanent Secretary, Prime Minister's Office in charge of Policy, Parliamentary Affairs and Coordination, Dr. Jim Yonazi, and the Minister Jenista Mhagama say that the government is reviewing monitoring and evaluation system to increase the efficiency of execution of government's tasks.
The government will continue to evaluate the performance of different institutions as the part of coordinating and monitoring government activities effectively.
The Prime Minister's office recognizes the contribution of stakeholders in building the best electronic system for the sake of monitoring, evaluating, and performance management.
The conference will be held for 3 days, and it is the second one after being held for the first time in 2022.
Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism Angela Kairuki says Tanzania has been officially selected to host the 50th World Congress of Beekeepers, which will be held in Arusha in 2027. She made the revelation when addressing journalists in Dar es Salaam, insisting that the selection is due to the efforts being made by the government in managing natural resources. Emmanuel Samo has more.
Tanzania is the 14th country in the world and the second in Africa in the productions of bee products, as it produces more than 32,000 tons of honey per year due to the conservation of forest resources. The situations give honor to Tanzania to host the 50th World Congress of Beekeepers that will bring together beekeeping associations in the world, as explained by the Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Angela Kairuki.
We as a country, in cooperation with other government institutions and stakeholders of the beekeeping industry, have prepared and continue to plan to ensure that the conference is held with great success in our country.
Furthermore, Minister Kairuki and the Commissioner of the Conservation of Tanzania Forest Services Agency, Professor Dos Santos Silayo, urges stakeholders, tourism sector, as well as other business stakeholders to use the opportunity to make productive preparations for the Congress.
I call upon beekeeping stakeholders, some of whom I'm happy to see them here, and various institutions involved in conservation and tourism issues, is to use the opportunity of the presence of the Congress in our country.
And those who are looking for markets, I would like to urge them to extend their markets beyond Tanzania borders, so that the production of bee products in the country can also attract external markets and forex to our national economies.
One of the tourism stakeholders who is here in the meeting expresses his anticipation toward the Congress.
Epimondia conference to be held in Tanzania, we should expect a lot of multiplying effect in terms of the economy, but also the forward and backward linkages for the country will be very big. That is the circulation of money coming from the airline gets the money tour guide gets the money, tax driver get the money, the hotels get the money, the beverages sector gets the money, the destination also get the money. So it's a huge benefit for the country, and we really hope that we should have the facilities available, we should have the supporting sectors to come up and, make sure that they facilitate this conference to be held in a very conducive and a smooth atmosphere.
The victory makes Tanzania the second country in the African continent to be given the honor of hosting the 50th Congress since its inception 130 years ago. Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Thank you, Emmanuel Samuel. And on to the next news. The Minister of Constitution and Legal Affairs, Dr. Pindi Chana, urges law schools and institutions in the country to create systems to produce competent experts in the field of law, especially at this time when Tanzania experiences an increased number of investors in various sectors. Minister of Constitution and Legal Affairs, Dr. Pindi Chana, is visiting the Law School of Tanzania to eyewitness how the studies are conducted. She says the government will continue to improve the learning environment for the law professionals so as to practice the profession at the highest capacity, statement that is supported by the acting head of the school, Professor Sis Mramba.
Many investors in the country, we have local government authorities, central government, judiciary, everywhere nowadays, they need lawyers. So lawyers, I want to tell you, you have to be determined, make sure you accomplish your studies properly. Outside there, the opportunities are available. And to our investors, welcome to invest in Tanzania. We have all good laws dealing with investments, rights and duties. Everything is available. The country is keen to make sure everything is well under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan.
Law School of Tanzania, we have also embarked on another program. That's the basic technician in paralegal work. And this program is aimed at ensuring that legal services do trickle down to the very common Tanzanian who cannot afford the higher expensive services of legal services.
Minister of Constitution and Law, Dr. Pindi Chana, has visited the School of Law of Tanzania, introducing herself and set relevant direction according to the government's needs. And now on to the next news. The acting rector of College of Business Education, CBE, Professor Tandi Luoga, says his college is committed to produce professionals who will support the fields of research, crop value chains, digital marketplaces, and international business. This comes after the institution was given more than 7 billion shillings by the government for the development of the college's infrastructure. He announced the commitment in Dar es Salaam, insisting that through the transformation, the college has been able to introduce 12 new courses, including tourism, transportation, online marketing, and entrepreneurship to support the government's goal of boosting sustainable economic growth through business and entrepreneurship.
Investment that the government has put, for us, we have really been able to first establish new programs according to the demand from the job market. Because every 5 years we do a tracer study, and that tracer study enables us to know what the market needs in terms of jobs. So we have been able to, for this new academic year starting next month, we have been able to establish 12 new programs. And these 12 new programs, they focus on digital marketing, on marketing in tourism and event management, but we have also been able to develop a new curricula in finance and economics, but also entrepreneurship and innovation. As we all know that nowadays the world is being moved or improved due to the innovations. And we have also been able to develop new programs in logistics and transport. Initially, we are only providing programs in procurement and supply chain management. So now we have been able to offer new programs. And these new programs, they are starting from the level of the certificate, diploma, and bachelor. But also in terms of masters, for this academic year, we have established a new program in project management. That means masters in project management, monitoring, and evaluation.
The completion of the construction of the university's meteorological laboratory building will make the college to be the first in East and Central Africa in providing such services. The Director General of Tanzania Industrial Research and Development Organization, Professor Mkumbukwa Mtambo, says his organization, in collaboration with the REPOA, would like to see the producers of alternative charcoal cooperate with the financial institutions to assess loans that will support the purchase of machines for the production of the charcoal derived from plant residues, biomass briquettes. He made the call in Dar es Salaam during the opening for the training of producers of alternative charcoal derived from plant residues and other stakeholders. Rehema Sababili has more.
The TEDO Director General says the workshop of the production of alternative charcoal comes as a result of research done in 12 different regions of Tanzania and visits to 58 different producers and 122 different consumers, with the goal of strengthening the production of biomass briquettes and promoting its use to cope with the climate change in Tanzania.
We have the facilities here at Childo, and together with REPOA we have this program. So we invite all the biomass producers to come to Childo to kind of build their capacity so that they can come up with better alternative in terms of biomass briquettes.
On the other hand, the Director General of REPOA, Dr. Donald Mari, urged financial institutions to fund the producers to purchase the right equipment for the production.
We have seen that Tildo is trying to be innovative, has tried to fabricate machines and tested them that can be used to produce a high-quality briquette, and yet it will be a simple technology that can be afforded by the Tanzanian entrepreneurs. So what we need now is, after this training, to try to see if other enterprises in the private sector and financial institutions can actually help to scale up this technology so that the uptake of this technology in the country.
Some producers of alternative charcoal says there are great opportunities in charcoal, but they face challenges like marketing, consumers' education, and production technology.
So technology, by the way, is expensive. So if you want to invest in technology, in briquetting, it's not a small capital investment. It needs some money. And I think that's where the challenge is. The technology is there. The problem is, where's the funding? Where's the source to support the industry? And so, but there are also other options of using technology that is slightly less cheaper, but then the problem is production becomes very low.
Well, the big challenge in this country is that the government and institution, they not command the law at its cause. Leaders and other delegates, they say to the university and other college, they must use the briquette charcoal.
The efforts aim to help the country achieve its goal of reducing the use of polluting cooking energy by 2030. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sababili, TBC News.
Exim Bank, in collaboration with the Tanzania Insurance Regulatory Authority, TIRA, has launched a trust account which will be operated jointly between Exim Bank, BOT insurance companies under the supervision of TIRA, as a step that will strengthen the management of the insurance sector and for TIRA to oversee the legal and regulatory requirements set. Launching the account in Dar es Salaam, the TIRA Director of Supervision, Abubakar Ndwata, says the move will increase the confidence of insurance customers and be sure of the money.
Companies are required to invest at least 50% of the paid-up capital to deposits with the Bank of Tanzania, and you see now the money is supposed to be invested through their accounts. Now, because the TIRA is obliged to keep and maintain policyholders' interest, so we thought because there are some moments where the money matures and it goes to companies' accounts directly, and they can use it the way they want. So we wanted to ensure that we look over and we control the usage of those funds, and so we established trust account so we can see where are you spending the money, and because it's for protection of your company, not anything else. So it has been very effective, and now we expect all the maturities to go through the trust accounts, and so we'll be looking at the money together and say, okay, what is your statutory amount to be kept with the Bank of Tanzania? And so if anything exceeds the statutory amount, then you can spend whatever you want.
On his part, Exim Bank Chief Executive Officer Jafari Matundu assures insurance companies that the bank system are user-friendly, readily available for any reference, and is well coordinated between the bank insurance companies and the Central Bank of Tanzania (BOT) and TIRA as the administrator.
The time because TIRA has actually come with this brilliant idea of starting a trust account. And a trust account is only aimed at making sure that it ensures stability of the insurance companies should any risk happen. And this gives an opportunity also for insurance companies to use a trust account, not only just as a reserve account, but it also helps them as a conduit to invest further the fund that they are getting. So now is the right time, and we are also joining hand with our Tanzania Regulatory Insurance Agency Authority to make sure that at least we support this call of trust account.
The launch has gone hand in hand with the training on the implementation of the account for directors, executives, and chief financial officers of insurance companies in the country. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look on today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania (BOT). Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news compiled by Dorothy Mari and read by Margaret Getty.
Around 10,000 people are thought to be missing following major floods in Libya. An official from the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Tamer Ramadan, says the death toll is huge and might reach thousands. Widespread flooding and mudslides caused by torrential rain have destroyed many roads and homes. The worst affected place is the port of Derna, much of which is under the water after 2 dams and 4 bridges collapsed. 3 days of national mourning have started in Libya as thousands are killed in the floods. Heavy lifting equipment has begun to arrive in remote regions of the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, which have been the hardest hit by the rubble of collapsed homes. The authorities have accepted emergency aid from 4 countries, Britain, Spain, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Almost 2,900 people have died in the earthquake. A researcher from the United States has been rescued from deep inside a cave in southern Turkey, where he had become trapped after falling ill for more than a week ago. Turkey's Caving Federation says Mark Dickey was removed safely from the cave after spending more than a week underground with a serious illness, sparking an international effort to rescue him from a depth of 1,040 meters inside the Morka cave.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the Vice President of World Chess Federation, Grandmaster Nigel Short, calls on Tanzanians to play chess to open up opportunities that the game brings locally and internationally. In an exclusive interview with TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Nigel adds that Tanzania has many youth talented in chess game, and his federation is willing to boost the game morally and materially, and his word is supported by the Tanzania Chess Association's chairman engineer, Geoffrey Mwanyika.
Here in an official capacity, this is just the exhibition, and I will be having some discussions with the Federation on how to move things forward in the country, plans for strengthening the structure and bringing in more players into the game. I think there is great potential here in this country, and it just needs a little bit of encouragement.
The way a chess player thinks and how he moves is very, very different from someone who doesn't play chess. This has been analyzed. So we are also looking for programming chess in schools. We've been running those programs, but during the COVID we were a bit slow. So we are coming back up. So he's coming to motivate us and also support chess in various ways.
This is the second time for the Grandmaster Nigel Short to visit Tanzania for the purpose of developing the game of chess game in Tanzania. And on to the next sports news. Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Damas Ndumbaro, urges the Copyright Society of Tanzania, COSATA, and Tanzania Film Board to come up with strategies to boost the sector internationally and contribute to the national economy. Speaking during the inauguration of the new COSATA and Tanzania Film Board, Dr. Ndumbaro directs the chairpersons of both boards to explore ways of producing quality products that will conquer the international market.
Ministry of Culture, Arts and Sports brought about changes in matters related with the economy of the country, stakeholders and Tanzanians. Last year, the ministry played great role to contribute 19% of the GDP of the Tanzania.
Sekta hii imekuwa kwa 19%.
The sector has contributed 19% in the economy of country in 2023 and has potential to increase its contribution to the economy. And that is sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look for the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers, welcome to the next 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Margaret Masawe. Wind is expected to flow with a speed of 30 kilometers per hour over the entire coast from southeast, 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria and Lake Tanganyika, and 40 kilometers per hour over Lake Nyasa. TMA is issuing an advisory of strong wind which reaches 40 kilometers per hour over Lake Nyasa and large waves which exceed 2 meters. Therefore, precautionary measures have to be taken. Rainfall signals are still seen in a few areas of the country, especially over Lake Victoria Basin and the entire coast. Tonight, we expect a partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Kagera, Geita, and Mwanza. The rest of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy condition. Cloudy condition is still experienced in a few areas of the country, and the lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 10 degrees Celsius over Njombe region. The rest are as shown on this map. Tomorrow we expect a partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Lake Victoria Basin and Kigoma, while Shinyanga is expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunderstorms over a few areas. Kilimanjaro, Arusha, and the entire coast are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. The rest parts of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and longer sun periods. Now let us see the next 4 days with the forecast for some regions of the country. Tanzania Meteorological Authority, we thank you for watching us.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss the next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparnyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.